Hey, what's up, people? It's Boo from Mile High. Welcome to today's video. What's up, everybody? Today we're going to be working on a rye whiskey. And we've had this rye whiskey recipe kit on our site for probably a little bit over a year now. Recently, we came into a new strain of rye, which we're excited for, but I wanted to take the opportunity before we start mass selling it to put it into our own recipe and see if we're going to get a different flavor out of that specific rye. So I'm going to be going through the steps with you today. We're going to be doing our rye whiskey recipe from start to finish. This is the fermentation episode. You can expect a distilling episode in a later video. Let's go over just a few things really quickly though. Now, number one is I like to cook my grains in a mash tun. Mash tuns usually have false bottoms, which allows those grains to not hit the bottom of that boiler. So we eliminate scorching possibilities, which is a godsend with those grains. And then sometimes those mash tuns have like big baskets to where you can just safely remove those grains, separate out the water from the grain, solid grains, and then just kind of dump your grains. It makes it hell of a lot easier. I hate working with spent grains. They're heavy, they're sticky, they're messy. Not a fan. However, we recently had a lactobacillus infection in our mash tun. For those of you that know what that is, you know that you're pretty much screwed if it happens. There's really no way to get rid of it in your mash tun. So everything that came out of that mash tun came out with off flavors, just funkiness. And so we've had to change a little bit. I'm currently in the process of getting another mash tun, custom made to where it's going to work with our heating elements. It's going to be really awesome. But for now, I have to improvise. We're going to be running just our regular milk can boiler. You might have seen this once or twice on this channel before. We have cooked grains in this before. It's not my favorite thing to do because it's a little bit hard to stuff so many grains to this 8-inch opening, as well as we don't have that false bottom. So we kind of just have to like get our bags and kind of tie them around the handles of our boiler to prevent anything from falling too far in. So it's a little bit of a pain in the butt. Not much. We'll still make it work for this video, but I'm looking forward to that mash tun, I'll tell you that. Now, a little bit about rye whiskey in general. In the USA, at least, by law, if you are to make a rye whiskey legally through a distillery, it has to be at least 51% rye. The rest can really be up to you. Some people go 100% rye. Some people go like an 80% rye, then maybe 10% corn, 10% barley, something to that effect. And then of course, I mean, again, it's really up to you what grains you use. So you can do a combination of wheat, different barleys, maybe a specialty malt, maybe some corn. It's really completely your call. What we'll be doing is using the majority of our base being rye, and then we're going to throw in just a tiny bit of corn and an even smaller amount of barley for conversion, mainly. Rye spirits in general are noted, very well noted to have like sort of a spiciness to them. If anyone's ever had a rye whiskey as opposed to a bourbon, there's just a little extra kick to it, a little heat, but in a good way. All around, I just find it kind of a unique type of whiskey, and they're fun to make. They always come out pretty good, at least in my experience, and you can make them just incredibly smooth. I don't know what it is about rye whiskey, but it seems like it comes out smoother than bourbons and other things. Could just be my imagination, but we're gonna see. We're gonna put it to the test. We're gonna try to come out with a real nice, smooth rye whiskey, a little bit of spice in there. Let's just get to it, guys. So what this recipe consists of is 7.5 pounds of crushed or milled rye malt. Speaking of crush, I got crushed trying to eat these bags of grain, so let me hold them here. Now on top of that, we're also going to have 1.5 pounds of milled or crushed distiller's malt, also known as barley. I added them together for convenience sake, so both of those grains are found here. We'll call this our brown bag. And then we're also going to have 5 pounds of flaked yellow maize in another brew bag. We'll call this our yellow bag. And as far as instructions go for this recipe, it's really simple. We're going to be first heating up this boiler. So let's just start that now. Let's get our element turned on and start to heat up. Now our plan here is to go to 170 degrees Fahrenheit. The reason for that is because our brown grains, we don't really want them that high. It's gonna hurt stuff, but our corn, we do want that high. To get full gelatinization of corn, we're gonna want it at about 170. So we'll get up to 170. We're gonna put in our corn here, let that kind of cook around for 30 minutes and kind of remove some of those starches and everything. We're gonna cool down, add our brown grains and kind of move from there. So I will see you guys as soon as this heats up. It's gonna be about an hour for me. It's gonna be probably about 2 seconds for you. Okay, and boom, corn added. Wow, that was fast. Jeez, guys. Aren't you guys lucky that we're so on top of it? Lightning speed. We've got our corn added. So we're gonna go ahead and let this sit for 30 minutes. It's just gonna do its thing and we'll proceed with the other grains here. So right here is exactly what we're pulling off. That's that gelatin. And now with us at about 140 degrees Fahrenheit in this boiler, we've cooled down. Let's go ahead and add our mix of barley and rye malt. I also took my corn out temporarily just to get that bag in there a little bit easier because like I said, this isn't exactly the easiest way to cook. I'd really prefer a mash tun with that bigger opening, but this will work. And now with us at 140 and everything good in that pot, we're gonna let things be for an hour. And then from an hour, we'll go ahead and we should be fully cooked. Guys, we gotta kill some time here. I'm such an impatient person. I think I know exactly what would help us ease through this time a little bit more. I think it's shot time. If you have rye whiskey or any type of whiskey near you, please go ahead and pour yourself a shot full. If maybe you're not a whiskey drinker, maybe you like your vodka, doesn't matter. Just go ahead. And right now, we have to do a toast here. This is a toast to you people, okay? I want to tell you how much I love doing these videos for you. I love our regular commenters, the people that every week I see your comments. Same people, love it. I love seeing you new people as well, commenting down below. Thank you guys so much for all your support. If you enjoyed this video as well so far, please be sure to like it. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel for future content. And guys, this one's to you. All right, well, that killed about 30 seconds. So I've still got some time. I'll see you guys in a little bit when everything's done in here. Okay guys, we are done on our boil. Now one thing I always forget to talk about, because we're here in Colorado, if you don't have clean water like we do in Colorado here, I would check your pH during this stage. Make sure we're baseline. We want to be about 5.2, 5 to 6, let's say. I know we're good. I don't really have the need to test it. I've never had issues with pH. You might not have the same luck, depending on where you're from. But let's go ahead and get these grains out. And then I'm going to transfer this into a fermentation bucket. Now from here, you can either choose to simply just collect the liquid, and that has all our sugar and everything from the grains. We can just collect that and pour it into our fermentation vessel. I always ferment on the grain. So I'm gonna take these bags that we have, I'm gonna put them in our bucket, pour our sugary grain liquid on top of that, and pitch my yeast. Now all that liquid we just cooked, let's go ahead and dump it into our bucket. And there we have it, guys. We have our bucket. We have everything ready. Our grains are still going to be in there. We're going to go ahead and let this cool down a little bit, pitch our yeast. You'll see that step here in a sec, but we've essentially just made a rye whiskey. It's all just about waiting right now. So before we pitch our yeast, let's take our hydrometer reading, and we're looking around 6%. If we wanted to add sugar, we can definitely get up from there. We can go 12 up to 15%. It's really your call. I don't like adding a whole ton of sugar. If I can, I don't add any at all. And that's what I'm gonna do here. I really like to get up to 8, 10% naturally. I could always add more grains and achieve that higher gravity, but I think I'm good at that 6%. And normally I do add maybe a little bit of sugar to get up there, but all I have in the shop right now is white sugar, and I really don't like using white sugar. If I had brown, I'd consider it, but we're gonna keep things natural. We ended up making a few batches here, so I have like 3 6.5 gallon batches. That's gonna make up for my loss in that ABV. I'm gonna be able to achieve still about 1.5 gallons worth of that spirit after everything's said and done. That's before even diluting down to 80 proof, so we're in good shape. We're gonna keep it as is. All we have to do from now on is pitch our yeast, and then if you have followed along so far, congratulations. You're ready to distill this in about a week to 2, depending on the yeast you use. So I'm gonna go ahead and use a Still Spirits whiskey distiller's yeast. This is a really good strain of yeast, obviously specifically designed for whiskeys. It helps with that conversion rate of some of those starches in those grains. So we'll go ahead and pitch this, and boom. Done. So anyways, that's going to be it for us today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I really hope you have good luck with your rye whiskey. Wish us luck on ours as well. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions regarding rye whiskey. Also, further along in the description, you're going to see contact info for my personal email as well as phone number for the shop here. If you have any questions regarding rye whiskey or really just any info regarding distilling in general, please be sure to call us, email us. More than happy to help you guys out. I really appreciate all your love, all your support. Good luck on what you're doing on your end. And guys, we'll see you next week.